humanity's last breath. Super heavy, super punchy. Is it possible to get this sound using only MIDI instruments? Today we will find out. Okay, let's jump straight into it, starting with the guitars. The guitar plugin that I'm using is the Shreddage 3 Hydra. This is the best sounding MIDI guitar in my opinion. I'm using it in double track mode like this with the pick attack maxed out, and the raw DI sounds like this. Starting off, I will first engage the amp because all of the choices I make are based on how it sounds through the amp. I'm using the Omega Ampworks amplifier from Neural DSP, which is my personal favorite amp for rhythm guitars. Kind of cool, but nothing special, right? The true magic happens before the amplifier. Let's start with what is, in my opinion, the most important plugin, which is the pitch shifter pedal. This is an integral part of the HLB sound, and it's using the Fatso from the Gojira plugin by Neural DSP. Pay attention to this dry-wet knob. It's going up and down depending on if it's playing the low or the high notes in the riff. Check it out. It's adding so much fatness so you get this instant HLB vibe. Next, I am using the Dr. Dry plugin, one of my favorite free distortion pedals, it's adding a lot of drive to the sound. And also, to get some extra pick attack out of this guitar, is that I'm using a transient designer with maxed out attack and the FG Bomber before the amp. This is a pretty excessive effect, but when you feed it into the amp, it saturates the pick attack super nicely. I will show you how much it adds to the attack of the sound when I engage this. And then it's the EQ before the amp. This is like having a custom guitar pedal to use before your amps. This is a trick that Buster does a lot in his mixes, so it's something that I've also picked up from him. This is a great way to add what you feel is missing from the guitar tone. So, for instance, here I was missing a bit of pick attack and scrape sound. When you use this headphone icon in the FabFilter Pro Q3, you can actually hear what this frequency sounds like when going through the amp. So if I lower this part of the DI, it will give me less of that sound through the amp. Moving on, we have tape saturation, we have the basement plugin that is removing some rumble from the sound, and then we have parallel compression. I will add these plugins in one by one and you will see what they add. Adding some fatness now with the tape saturation. Removing some rumble. Adding parallel compression for added attack. Some soothe just to tame some harshness. And lastly, we have a imager, just widening it 10%, and another EQ that looks like this. The main drum tones are coming from Get Good Drums P4. I will not be covering the drums in this video. I will make a separate video on how I mix GGD drums. For the beginning of the bass sound, it's exactly the same as in my periphery tone guide, so check that out if you're curious. The only difference is the EQ before, adding a lot of extra clank here. I will add this in and you will see how much this contributes to the clank of the bass guitar. And finally, I will add the drums to show this. This is a common mixing trick where you sidechain the kick drum to the bass guitar to duck the bass guitar to give a lot of room for the kick to punch through. Now we move on to the full mix. Firstly, some compression for all of the instruments. I'm using both of the nollie tricks here. The FG Gray first to duck the snare slightly, and also some parallel compression to add a lot of extra punch. FG Bomber, tape saturation, and True Iron by Castrog to add some extra saturation and smack. For the master bus, I am firstly using a Pultec style equalizer, adding a lot of lows, and also doing the virtual mix bus for added saturation. The HLB official mixes are super saturated. Extra tape saturation as well. Townhouse. Great compressor. Adding some smack. Golf fuzz. Extra clarity and sparkle. Quite subtle. It adds a lot. Also soothe. Removing some harshness. And finally, the equalizer. Extra bass. Also a little bit of harshness here. I will now play you the finished product and I will flip between mine and the official mix and we will see how close I got. Drum mixing tutorial is coming, so if you are interested in that, consider subscribing to my channel. Otherwise, see you next time.